Okay, here's the transmission control pewter for the automatic transmission that I'm having trouble with. I put this resistor in. It's a 1/2 watt resistor, and the one right next to it, down here, the small one next to it, that's a 1/4 watt resistor. And these ones here are some other 1/4 watt resistors. And if you notice on the top of the capacitors, they've marked these with blue markings. Still same CPU, and this one's also made by Okidot, or Okies they're calling it. I'm assuming it's Okidot. And on the other transmission control unit that I got, they've replaced those resistors with 1/2 watt resistors like I did. And this one was actually burned up when I got it, or when I was having trouble. This resistor here was burned out, and that's why I replaced it. And I said, well, they should have been using a 1/2 watt. Sure enough, on the other transmission, they've replaced these two and these two with 1/2 watts. And I'm going to check the voltage value, because these are all 35s and 35 to 50s, except they have a 10. This one here, I believe, is a 10 volt, which is way too close to being probably with the voltage that runs through this. I'm not sure what the voltage on a car, maybe 12 volts. That's kind of high, and most electronics like to see 5 volts for this kind of circuit. But it wouldn't shock me if this was a 12 volt circuit. Printers tend to use 12 volts and 24 for drivers. Anyways, as engineering, kind of a rule of thumb, you usually double your voltage on your capacitors. And it's not that much more expensive, maybe 5 cents, I don't know, 10 cents more expensive to put a bigger voltage capacitor in there. What that enables you to do is, let's say this is a 5 volt circuit. You'd want to put at least a 10 volt or bigger in there. If this is a 12 volt, you'd put it like a 25 or bigger in there. And again, the rest of them are 35s and 50s, and there's 110, and that's plus these are electrolytic capacitors. In the electronic industry, they've been having a lot of trouble with these. They'll actually break. The chemicals in it break down, and then there's little X's. I don't know if you can see it on top of there. There's a little X. And that's actually, so when this fails and explodes internally, it has a relief valve kind of built into it. That's why that cuts in the top, and it'll bulge out. And that's usually how you can see it, but that doesn't mean the capacitor's not good if it doesn't have a bulge. Because like on this one, it almost looks like, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a bulge coming out the side on one of the capacitors. And so that can happen. They can also leak out the bottom. And they might not leak at all. It could just degrade internally and didn't catastrophically fail, but it's no longer giving the correct capacitance, which usually causes timing issues. Usually the resistors are in correlation with the capacitors, and there's a formula for figuring stuff out as to how they're supposed to behave. And either the resistor value goes out of whack or the capacitance goes out of whack, it throws off issues. Anyways, that's it.